Hey, everybody, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're going to start a series on diet methodology. Huge topic, tough to get in 5 to 7 minute shots, but we're gonna give it our best. And I think even though we have a lot of content already and probably some features in some of these realms, hopefully we'll give you some highlights here. Adam, starting with what I think is everybody's first kind of go-to. You want to lean into something that's aggressive. And so many people want to start with low carb or keto or modified keto, one of those classifications. And even a client of mine who this is very unique for me, but somebody said, I want to hire you just for training. I think I've got my nutrition in tow. I'm fine there. I do low carb. I'm good. And I'm like, we'll see. Because then I saw a lot of things in her history and in her food intake that I'm like, that is just not optimal. So knowing that we've covered a lot of this in the past, when you see pure keto or modified bodybuilding type keto, what's your first thought in terms of, are there some real benefits to this? Is there some value, or is it just a total no-go?
Yeah, that's a great question. And gosh, we're in the world of social media where someone clicks on a post, sees someone get results, and that's what they want to do. And so for me, and I get clients that come to me from this background, what context is it used in? Why are they doing this? I have a few clients with autoimmune diseases that keto seems to be pretty helpful for their symptoms, digestive issues, things of that nature. But other than that, if they're doing it as a lifestyle like ideology and not really tracking their macros, that seems to be what a lot of people do. They just eat a bunch of meat, a bunch of fats, and think that they're good at the end of the day. But little do they know is just how caloric those fats are that they're consuming, which is taking them out of the deficit. So the context really is important. I do love it for certain digestive cases. It's not that high fats are the end all be all, because you could be eating a certain vegetable that's causing gut dysbiosis that's giving you an issue. But if you really are taking things with a fine-tooth comb through somebody's programming and finding what those triggering things are, sometimes keto can be used, but my goal isn't to keep it on there forever. It's to fix the gut issue, move them into a carbohydrate diet. Usually I do a low FODMAP with a digestive issue too. But yeah, I know that's a lot, but context is really key on why you're doing it. Also, do you even like eating that way anyhow? Do you hate eating fats? And if you do, why do it that way?
Yeah, context is critical, as you said. Goals are critical, and then definitions are. So again, pure keto is 90% fat, low protein, zero carbs. And even people like Dominique D'Agostino, a huge researcher in this, is just last year releasing research showing that even for people with epilepsy and stage 4 cancer and those medical conditions that you may find this more favorable for, there is a threshold tolerance level, and you don't have to be zero carbs. You can just creep up to a line where you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, and then you start tiptoeing over that edge. And those people do better because you get some carbs. And as we know, speaking of context, if you're doing this because you want to get the leanest and you want to spare muscle tissue and you want to push away undue metabolic suppression, keto's not for you. Carbs, once minimum protein requirements are met, are more anabolic and more metabolic. So every single inpatient study ever done will show that. It's only the non-inpatient self-report studies that even give keto, obviously due to error in reporting, sometimes an edge. So I don't think it's totally off the table, like you said. I think there are some principles and tools from it that can be helpful for some people in some situations, but just don't get sucked into the misguided, I would say, maybe misinterpreted research that shows that it's favorable over having some carbs, because it's just not.
Yeah. And I always have a hard time speaking on the cancer piece because I feel like there's just so much research and what we want to hear is a cure, right? And even though they find keto may be advantageous for pre-existing conditions, I don't want to say you're not going to get it if you do keto, and I think some of the big keto pushers out there are kind of setting that narrative. It's really dicey.
Mm. Well, and they get it from the fact that cancer cells grow prolifically fast and sugar drives that. So, oh my gosh, sugar bad. But we also convert protein in our diets into glucose, which feeds it and so forth. And so, again, just like some of the current research is showing, there is a line, and just getting rid of processed foods, crappy foods, sticking to whole foods. And as I said, preferentially, maybe you do like a little bit more fat in your diet. And you brought up digestion. Maybe you can't digest all of that carbohydrate. We're going to talk about low fat diets in this series. Maybe it's fine for you to get more of a 33, 33, 33, or at least some kind of a more balanced approach. Doesn't have to be just super, super low carb versus super low fat.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to take this particular topic, spin it with a little nuance, and talk about paleo and carnivore next. We'll see you next time.